This is Lonzo, the Godfather of West Coast hip hop. I'm about to sit down with my girl, Pauline Samuels from Creative Artists Magazine. You want to have some fun, get some popcorn, kick back for a minute. It's about to go down. Check it out.
Thank you so much, Lonzo. Hi, Cam fam, it's your girl, Pauline, and I have a special treat today. I am here with Alonzo Williams, the godfather of West Coast hip hop and the CEO of Lyrical Revolution. Hi, Lonzo. How are you today?
Hello, dear. How you doing today?
I'm well, thank you.
Good.
Thank you so much for joining me. And I know your story is, you have an incredible story.
Thank you.
So
it's been fun.
What gives you the title? How'd you get that title, Godfather of West Coast hip hop?
You know, when hip hop first came to the West Coast, I was standing there waiting on it at the bus stop. And I guess my claim to fame, and I had to go back. Somebody else asked me this question before. I had to go back and I just realized that when it came to West Coast hip hop, I provided the platforms, whether it be nightclubs, record companies, concerts, whatever it took to make things happen, all while being an artist, all while being a songwriter, all while being a label owner. I provided opportunities not only for my group, for other groups as well. So that, right, and then I have a studio that has been home to so many people, it's ridiculous. So when you start talking about West Coast hip hop, 90% of the people, man, I was at Lonzo's studio. I was at Lonzo's club. I used to be on Crew Cut Records. Alonzo gave me some advice. So I've been an integral part in so many people's careers, and especially in the beginning. That's kind of, I'm like one of the mothers who like babies, but don't like grown kids. I like working with up-and-coming artists and watching them develop and seeing what they do, see how they turn out. So that's been my forte. I've always been there in the beginning of a lot of artists, giving them advice and giving them mentorship. And that's what I do.
Who are some of the first artists you can think of helping to shape their careers?
Well, of course, Dr. Dre, Ice Cube, Eazy-E, and people think Jerry Heller. He met Jerry Heller in a warehouse carrying records, like they say, straight out of Compton. Never happened. I'm the one that put them two together. Never thought it would work. Meanwhile, people forget about Afro Man. Afro Man was one of my main students for years before he blew up. And we talked about what he did, and he executed his plan to the T. He messed around there, got a big fat check for publishing, and moved back to Mississippi and became the king of Mississippi. And he understands the art of entertainment. He knows he's a character, and he sells that character on a regular basis. And that's something that was kind of taught by me.
Wow. Very interesting. We're off to a great start here. Now, I, as a teenager, used to go to one of your clubs over there, and I mean, I was quite a regular and a pop locker at that. So it wasn't too many girl pop lockings. So I was a female pop locker. And you want to tell us about your club you had over there on the?
Well, it all started with Eve After Dark on the corner of Avalon and Segundo. I was a young cat. I was 22 years old when I got that club, and I opened that club a week after my 22nd birthday. And it was something I didn't think I would ever achieve. I was not trying to open a nightclub at 22. It's just that my dad saw me doing some things in the community with the parties or whatever. He referred me to one of his friends, and the rest is kind of history. And because I was such a young club owner, I was also a young DJ with his residency in his own club, which is something that's totally unheard of. And I didn't even realize that until people started talking about DJs and residencies. I said, well, wait a minute, hold on. He wasn't the first one. Who was? It was me. Well, how is that? I owned the Eve After Dark, and I was the DJ. So I did something most cats have not done. So in doing that, trying to bring new music to the club, I'm bringing in acts like Run DMC, Curtis Blow, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Then the wrecking crew decided we started making records, and then we blew up. So, it just was one thing after another for a while there. It's like, as soon as I got used to one thing, I had to learn something else. And it never stopped. It just never stopped. And I'm still the same way today. As soon as I learn one thing, I'm on to something else. So it's just I guess that's how my mind works and how my spirit works. People are always giving things to me and hey man, you got to try this right here. Check this out right here. Or bro, you're the perfect man for so-and-so. And because of that, I've just found my way through a lot of different situations. But it all started at Eve After Dark. Yes. I would love to see, you still have any pop lock moves? Look at you.
Caught me off guard. Yeah, so it was like, I remember the World Class Wrecking Crew being the name that we all said there. And then Egyptian Lover, Uncle Jam's Army. And you have a part in that. We just celebrated Uncle Jam Army's Day.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So. Yesterday was Uncle Jam's Army Day. It's October 28th. I think it was back in 2018. The city declared Uncle Jam's Army Day. And I was invited to participate in that. And I was surprised, but I wasn't surprised. I wasn't a member of Uncle Jam's Army, but the beginning of Uncle Jam's Army, Roger and I were very tight and very competitive.
And for the record, this is Roger Clayton.
Roger Clayton, rest in peace. He and I were very instrumental in the very beginning of everything West Coast hip hop. We were competitors, we were friends, and we worked together. We hated each other, we loved each other, and it just our feud fueled the West Coast. And even though some of his guys and my guys still don't get along, the head guys of Uncle Jam's Army have always stayed cool. And Wrecking Crew, I should say. Yeah,
and you just had a live show. I just saw it with the members, some of the members.
Yeah, I celebrated their day. You know, I'm going to talk to Compton because Compton is slipping if we don't have a Wrecking Crew N.W.A. day. So we need to have something like that. I'm going to make some phone calls to my city council people. And but it's hard. It's real hard to have somebody. I need my own day in Compton. How am I going to do that? Okay. So I need somebody else to propose that to them. I don't want to seem egotistical, but damn it, we did a lot of stuff for the CPT.
For real.
Okay.
Now you are just a wealth of information in the world of hip hop. And I know you have seen so many things. And we were talking, and I want you to share a couple of your stories with my audience, the viewers here, so they can really get a grip of some of the stuff that took place.
Well, you know, in the beginning, the whole thing started with my dad coming to my house and seeing me with a pile of money. Okay, my mother had passed. I lived in her house. They had broke up, but he had keys to the house. So I'm sitting there one day, I'm counting money, and he walked in the house. Where you got that money from? I just did a dance at Alpine Village over in Torrance. I said, I got a DJing. He said, ain't there that much money DJing in the world? He thought I was selling dope. Okay, everybody in my neighborhood sold dope. My old man had a thing against dope. Oh, hell no. No, man, no. Don't beat me yet. Don't beat me. Come by Alpine Village and see what I'm doing. He did. And when he came by, we had a cracking night. Oh, it was off the chain. And shortly after that, that's when he decided to introduce me to Jeff D, guy who owned Eve After Dark. And these two old dudes sit there, and I didn't even know I was going to get a nightclub. I was actually going to just talk to him about renting a room from time to time to do some dances, okay? And next thing I know, they sitting there drinking. They got some brown liquor. They got some old something, old Taylor, old Joe, old Bushmill, whatever they was drinking. And I'm 22 years old. I'm scared to death, okay? Because Jeffrey's a big dude. He's like 6'4". My daddy, he was a nice-sized cat too. But I'm giving my boys an opportunity. And, you know, he's a good dude. He's a good guy, blah, blah, blah. And Jeffrey, in his real gravelly voice, all right, damn it, if I give you a chance, if you mess over me, I'm going to kick your ass. And my daddy say, if he got to kick your ass, I'm going to kick your ass for embarrassing me. I'm like, damn, I walked into a situation where I'm already being threatened. But I tell you what, my daddy told me something else that same day. He said, I can get you in, but I can't keep you in. That was 1979. I retired from Eve After Dark in 2019, 40 years later, okay? Now, I didn't stay there the whole time entirely. Don't get me wrong, I had other stuff to do. But for the most part, I had access and ran that club off and on over 40 years until the old man just decided he didn't want to be in the club business no more. So, I mean, these are the kind of things that I've experienced, okay? I left there for a while. I went to the Hollywood Park Casino. I had the club at Hollywood Park Casino, Club Hall of Fame. I mean, I have dual careers. I'm a DJ, and like I tell people, I says, I've always been a Wolfgang Puck type of DJ. I don't work for a lot of other people. I have done hundreds of parties, but I primarily work in my own venues. Okay, my skills are I'm selfish with my skills. Come to me, give me your $10, and we're gonna party with my music. And that's how everything I've ever gotten in life, including my hip hop career, has come through DJing. Okay, my houses, everything, cars, everything has come from DJing.
Now, I did used to go to the Eve After Dark, and I saw a transition because we didn't have necessarily N.W.A.
No, we didn't
yet. And it was a lot of people will not know this, but I seen it with my own eyes. It was more of a disco attire. And I remember seeing the guys like Dr. Dre and them in like these spandex outfits. It was part of the costumes and the look. It was like reminiscence of Bootsy Collins. And so you said your name used to be Disco Lonzo.
Disco Lonzo.
You made a transition. Tell me about that.
I had to, because Disco died a slow death, and I couldn't afford to sit there and keep on being Disco Lonzo. And everybody hate Disco sucks, but I don't suck, okay?
And Disco died so fast, it died a brutal death. It died a brutal death. I had to change my name. I had to change my name from Disco Lonzo to Lonzo. I wasn't going to put no more titles on my name. That should be changing up too much.
And I just had to leave disco alone, just dropped the disco, just went to Lonzo. And later I added the Godfather of West Coast hip hop, or it was added to me. Somebody said, man, you know what, dude, you're the Godfather, huh? I said, I like that. I kind of, okay. I mean, you done did this, and this, and this, and this. And I'm probably one of the most consistent cats on the West Coast when it comes to the music industry. I never left entertainment. I started in 1976, fresh out of high school, went to broadcast school, got my broadcast license, and some personal things happened in my life. My mother was diagnosed with cancer, and I had one job offer in Mississippi. I couldn't go. And I took my talents to the discos of Los Angeles. And at that same time, some of my friends started doing dances around the city. We would rent the Biltmore Hotel, the Convention Center, Queen Mary, Hilton hotels, and we would put 600, 500, 1,000 kids, wow. I mean, youngsters in a room. And here's the crazy part. We all were under 25. Most of us weren't even 21 yet. We were doing the Alpine Village. I was talking about this yesterday with Gid and Edwin off the air. We were like, I was 19. I was the oldest one. I was 19. I hadn't even turned 20 yet. Roger is 2 years younger than me. I'm sorry, I was 20. So Roger was 18, fresh out of high school. We doing dances, putting 300 to 500 kids in a room. So these are the kind of things that we did back in the day that I look back now, I don't see it happening, especially if it does happen, it's probably going to be a body left someplace, which is really sad. And that's the part that the lyrical revolution is trying to help correct in the world of hip hop.
Yeah, and that brings me to another point here. I recently was at 2020, beginning of 2020. I think it was January 18th. You had a DJ award show, Unsung Heroes of Hip Hop.
Yes.
Awards, and you nominated my good friend, shout out to the owner of world famous VIP Records, Calvin Anderson, and he received a Lifetime Achievement Award. But what I took away from that was it's so beautiful that you put something like that together to give those unsung heroes that really made it happen for us out here to be able to have the music that we had, the beautiful things that only a DJ can bring. It's a lot of work that goes into being a DJ. And I learned a lot that night at your event, and it was so beautiful to see you.
Thank you.
So many.
Thank you.
And you were nominating so many different DJs, and some past, some still here. And it was a beautiful experience. And I just want to thank you from the
bottom of my heart. We're in the planning stages for 2022. We have another event planned. We moved it to February this year. We're going to move it to February, President's Day weekend. I didn't realize until that night that the NAMM show, which is a very big show for DJs and musicians, is going the same weekend as Martin Luther King birthday. So we had to move it down to November, which is actually great. We still do it on the Sunday. We know most DJs work on Saturday night. So we'll do it on the Sunday of the President's Day weekend. So folks still don't have to work on Monday. And I think it's very important that somebody, let me stop right there. Let me back up. People have a bad habit of saying, somebody oughta. Well, why can't that somebody be you? Okay? And that's my philosophy. Okay? I did that. I had my public access show for years. I would say, somebody oughta. And then somebody said, man, why somebody can't be you? And I said, oh, you called me to the carpet. And when I think of certain things that I think that needs to happen, I do my best to try to implement it. You know, recognizing DJs and people who have played a major role in this music game here in the West Coast is something very important. And I really get tired of people waiting till you die to give you your roses. I just can't stand that. Or people only get together when there's somebody dead in a box. Can we get together without somebody being in a box? And it was really crazy because one of the gentlemen who we wanted to honor that year said he couldn't do it because he had another event. He died after the event. Okay, so we trying to honor Roland. We was trying to honor Roland Work, which is probably one of the few guys that's been doing events longer than me and Roger. And he passed shortly after that. So it's just, he passed the next year, I'm sorry. And so it's just, I think as we get older, we need to recognize those who have done what they have done, because if somebody else rewrites the history, we all gonna be white and blue-eyed.
That part right there. Now, I know that we have several mutual friends, and one in particular I want you to tell me about his involvement in your world, in the music world, is my good friend, Greg Mack.
Shout out to Creative Artist Magazine. Creative Artist Magazine. There you go. Magazine.
Greg Mack changed hip hop in a major way here on the West Coast, and overall as well. I met Greg when I was one of the first people Greg met when he came to California. He was a K-Day. My sales rep, Rochelle Lucas, asked me, says, you might want to meet our new DJ who's going to be the program director shortly, Greg Mack. Okay, cool. Me and Greg go to lunch. Greg driving a yellow Eldorado, wearing cowboy boots and a hat. Look like a Yosemite Sam, okay? We rolling. We going to get something to eat. And shortly after that, I invited Greg down to Dudo's. I just opened Dudo's. I invited Greg down to Dudo's to check it out. He had never seen that before. And he also, I'd given him a couple of my underground mixes. Me and Dre and Yella used to make underground mixes called it was called Xerox. And basically what we would do, they would mix a bunch of records together. I'd get them pressed up. I sell them to the swap meets and record stores like Kelvin and Cletus. Greg got them. He loved them. Oh my God. I love these. And I said, thank you, man. He said, he played a couple of them on the air. He says, I want one of these every day. Huh? Well, you can't make a record every day. It's not possible. You have to be a process. But so what we did, we just agreed to record a mix every day. We recorded a mix every day, and that became the Traffic Jam. Okay.
Wow. That
was the Traffic Jam. Okay. So Dre and Yella did the first Traffic Jam for K-Day. Now, Greg, can we get something? Greg gave us used tape from the K-Day production room and all the records we could mix. Well, Greg, I got to get a little bit more than some used tape, Doc. So by me just opening Dudo's, me and Greg cut a deal where he would give us a promo before and after that 15 minutes of Traffic Jam, and the promo would say, tonight, this Friday, Traffic Jam is brought to you by the world-class record crew of Dudo's Music Center. every Friday night, 135th and Central. Dudos Music Center, world-class record crew. Every Friday night, doors open at 8. That's all it said, okay? I got one in the beginning and one at the end. Them fit those spots, that 15 minutes of music changed my life forever because one, my marketing budget just died. I didn't need a marketing budget because that was the hottest 15 minutes in the city, okay?
The maker.
That was the hottest, and Greg, we did that together. Then, because Greg was the program director and a little lazy, okay, he would, Gerald Busby and all the big promotional guys would give him all kind of acts to promote. So he paid him to do those.
Wow.
So now I got Midnight Star, I got Jermaine Stewart, I got LL Cool J, and at one point we even had New Edition at Dudos.
Wow.
Okay. So every week.
House with Lonzo Williams.
And I got a quick story to tell you. Roger Clayton, he had snuck into Skateland. Skateland and Dudos were right next door to each other. Dudos is 1900s. I think Dudos is 1950. Oh, no, Dudos is 1900. Skateland is 1950. That's the addresses. If you jump off of Dudos Dudos roof, you're going to land in Skateland's parking lot, okay? They're that close. Well, somehow or another, Roger had got MCA to give them, I think it was Midnight Star, okay? And I believe it. I believe, Gerald Busby, good friend of mine, was the marketing director, promotion director. And I told Greg what happened. And Greg called Gerald Busby. And Gerald Busby called Midnight Star. And Midnight Star they went to Skateland. But they made a U-turn on Central and came right to do those, okay? They came right to do those, right? So it was the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Picked up the phone, made a call, and it was a wrap.
It was a wrap, okay? They showed up in Skateland, but they stayed at Dudos, okay? Yeah. All right, and that made a big difference. So these are the kind of things that we did back in the day that I think will never be duplicated. You got to understand, Wrecking Crew, Uncle Jam's Army, we ran the streets of LA. The streets were ours, okay? Greg Mack ran the radio. He was on the air.
He was
okay. He was the man on the air. So Greg was playing our records, and those who became friends with him, he would partner up with us from time to time and do events. And more so me than Roger, because Roger was kind of a difficult guy to deal with. But Greg and I did a lot of things together, and Greg actually did the foreword to my book. I have a book out called N.W.A. Not Without Alonzo, okay? And Greg did the foreword in my book, audio version and the written version. And that's how far back we go. And it's been nothing but love for the past 30 some odd years.
Wow. That is powerful because Greg is a good friend of mine. I just talked to him last night, actually. So that was a powerful story. Thanks for sharing that.
Yes, we did. We still tight to this day. Or I call him right now. He probably answered the phone.
Yeah, he's good like that.
He's good, and you know what? And I got to say, babe, it's for me when people have a mutual respect for each other, okay? And just take the time to answer the phone or, hey, man, I can't talk right now. I'll call you back and call you back. But I find that not a lot of the new artists get blinded by the shine and they forget where they come from real quick. They think it's an honor not to return somebody's phone call. I tell you what, it could have been a check for your ass, but because you did not answer the phone, next, okay? I'm not chasing you down to give you no money. I'll give you opportunity because a lot of times people call me up and I'm a referral house for everybody. People call, Lonzo, do you know so-and-so? Lonzo, do you know so-and-so? And if I know somebody, I don't put a charge on it, nothing. Hey, man, so-and-so looking for this right here. What you got, okay? And I've made a lot of relationships like that. Like I said before, that's how Jerry Heller and Easy met, okay? Messing with Lonzo. Easy knew I knew Jerry, and he wanted to meet him. I taxed his ass, though, but that was a different story. But because I do that, and people know that if I refer you to somebody, they're gonna be dependable. They're gonna be reliable. Okay, and if they're not reliable, I won't refer them again. And that's probably why I'm the Godfather also, because people know they can call me and get a referral of somebody that's going to have some substance to their business practices.
Wow. So I've had two Godfathers now on my show. I have the Godfather of West Coast hip hop, and I had another person, a mutual friend that we have.
I want to give a shout out to my girl Pauline with Creative Artists Magazine. Number one, honey.
Thank you. Thank you so much. That coming from the Godfather of Comedy. I appreciate you, Michael. Michael E. Williams, the Godfather of Comedy.
Me and Michael went to El Camino College together back in the day, back in 77, okay? And Michael and I are close. We're very close. And we both sit down one day and we came to the conclusion, do you realize between me and you, now me and Michael are distant cousins, like 20th cousins or something, like not first and second, like 19th cousin or something, some old crazy cousins like that. But do you realize that between me and you, we have launched some of the biggest names from this city? He says, man, you're absolutely correct.
Yeah.
And some of our people intertwined, because I've always had an affinity for comedy. So I was doing comedy before the Comedy Act Theater, okay? Robin Harris was one of my main guys before the Comedy Act Theater started. Robin would come to Eve After Dark and do Baby Kids and the Test Tube Baby and all that stuff before he went around to the other club. Robin would call me up, Lonzo, I need $20, goddamn it, to get some gas. Robin, I ain't got no $20, goddamn it, I'm coming by the club, doing my damn joke, give me $20. Come on, Robin. And in fact, a little comedy history here, Robin met his wife, Zanetta, downstairs at Jeffy's, which is the club, which is the adult club. She was singing with the blues band. Robin was doing jokes upstairs, went down, got him a drink. They met, they've been in love, and that's his wife. They have a son together, look just like his daddy. And every year they do an event for Robin's foundation. And I was blessed in 2019 to be a part of that event and tell this story, because people don't realize that when you've been doing something as long as I have in the same place, you run across a lot of people. And I just think it's important that some of the tidbits of history are known, not just the Dre's and the Cubes, whatever, but I sat between two powerhouses of West Coast entertainment as a kid. That was Jeffrey Harris, who owned Jeffy's, and Doocy Williams, who owns Dudo's Music Center. Okay, most people don't know that Doocy Williams wrote the song Earth Angel. Okay, wow. And it's one of the first Black men to get his real money, his real financial deserts from his efforts as a songwriter, and that's how he built Dudo's. And why he built Dudo's was because at that time, Central Avenue was the main drag for Black entertainment. But Compton was primarily white. So he built it on the outskirts of Compton, on Central Avenue, so the brothers from LA and Watts could come in and get out before the cops got to him. That's what was told him. He told me this out of his mouth. Now, you got the guy around the corner from Central is Avalon. The guy, my mentor, Jeffrey Harris, and old man Doocy used to have little battles because Doocy was bringing in Bobby Blue Bland, Etta James, all these acts on Friday and Saturday. They was paying $5 at the door back then. That's a lot of money. $5 to come see somebody, that's a lot of money. But Jeffy would have them on Sunday and Monday for $2, okay? So they had their little tidbits, but I'm between both of them. I'm between both of them. And here's another little crazy part that don't mean nothing to nobody but me, but I got to share this anyway. All three of us are Geminis. So whatever that means to the universe, okay? I'm Jeffrey Gemini, old man Doocy a Gemini, I'm a Gemini. So we had a understanding that was unique, maybe because of some celestial zodiac stuff. I don't know for sure, but it just made for an interesting situation for me to find myself in amongst these kind of cats. And these guys, I just recently did a podcast for Dootsy, and some of the stuff in the podcast was so interesting. I didn't know, okay? But what I did know that I shared with the podcast guy, Compton was a dry city at one time. Old man Dootsy had a speakeasy in Dudo's Music Center, okay? And he was well connected to all the black artists at that time because of his facility. And at Dudo's, he showed me his speakeasy, and it was a real speakeasy. It was like you had to go into a closet, close the door, kick something, and the door opened up. I'm like, damn. When you open this door, it was a full bar.
Wow.
It was a full bar. On the walls of this bar was Ernie Barnes' original paintings. Ernie Barnes was the dude that did the Good Times painting with playing, the one JJ's. He had original Ernie Barnes paintings on his wall because he was friends with Ernie Barnes. So these are the kind of things that I've been exposed to. I'm a little older than most of the hip hop cats, so I got a history that's kind of, a little intriguing. That's why I like doing these kind of podcasts.
You got a whole lot of history. You blowing my mind with all these great stories that you have.
Thank you, Donna. Thank you.
All right, Lonzo. So you were talking about your book earlier.
Yes, ma'am.
I just want to let people know they can get it on Amazon, correct?
Yes, ma'am. It's my book right here, my baby, N.W.A, Not Without Alonzo. Okay, that's my new acronym for N.W.A, Not Without Alonzo.
Not Without Alonzo. That's what it stands for now.
Yes, ma'am. Not just it talks about a lot of what I talked about earlier. It tells the story of not just Dre and Yella, but my whole walk to become the Godfather of West Coast hip hop. And people always ask me, man, how can they never talk about you? Because they don't know me. Okay, you got to understand, I'm a little older than they are. Okay, when I first started doing what I was doing at 22, I'm 12 years older than Ice Cube is. I'm 22 at Alpha. I'm 22 on the eve after dark. Ice Cube is 10 years old. He in the 5th grade. Okay, he has no reason to know about Eve After Dark and Lonzo, and I damn sure ain't no business knowing about him. Okay. Okay, so when you understand the numbers, I did this at a very young age. I started doing this at 19. Okay, I started at 19. I'm still doing it, and it wasn't until I got 30 to these guys, or 28 to 30, when these guys actually came along and came on my radar. So I'd already done a whole lot before I even introduced these guys. So they don't know about me being out in the park and my records warping and having to fight with motorcycle clubs and stuff for electricity. They don't know about LSD, the dance promoters. They know about Uncle Jam's Army. They don't know about Z-Cars, LSD, Elite Productions, the people I used to work for that led us to what we are right now. They never tried to get on Soul Train, because Soul Train was something we tried to get on. That was our thing. Did you ever make Soul Train?
I did.
Did you? I can see that. I can see that. So I never danced on Soul Train. I tried my best. I was trying to get my lock on. I couldn't get it. I had to work on Saturdays when my dad used to line service. But also, I got a comic book out too.
Oh, wow. I'm a fan, by the way, of comics. I have a lot of artists that do it and they send them to me. I need that, Lonzo.
You got it coming, baby. This is the comic book. It was kind of bootleggish, but a guy named Ed Pessner did a thing called Hip Hop Family Tree. It's about New York and LA. He took some of my stories and released it out of Japan. They didn't have to pay nobody, but that's all right. I bought every book they had. It was only 500 copies made. I bought the last 300. Okay, wow. So they're in my possession.
And I'm getting one.
You got one coming. Also, and this right here is something that's new and near and dear to my heart, because I'm a big audiobook fan. Okay,
right. Me too. I have audios.
I love audiobooks, and although I can read very well, I just don't have time to stop doing what I'm doing. So I put an audiobook on in the background. This here is my audiobook. Excuse me. Our book is on Audible. It's on Audible. My audiobook is on Audible. My CD, my paperback is on Amazon. But you can't sign a digital file. People can't collect a digital file, only on your phone. So I had some custom-made CDs made up, so custom-made USB drives, and I can sign the back of them.
Okay.
I send them out to people. All three together are like $45. So
I'm getting my audibles. I'm downloading it today.
I'm not mad at you, baby. Thank you very much.
I got my account. I'm going to get my audibles, and I advise anybody listening to get it.
I'd appreciate it.
I know it's amazing.
Yes, I did the voice for my book myself because can't nobody tell my story better than me.
I like that a lot. That's going to make it extra special. And you also are lyrically inclined at writing. You wrote some things, right?
Yeah, I'm a avid writer. I got a phone full of lyrics I haven't written yet. But one of my biggest songs was "Turn Off the Light" by World Class Wrecking Crew. Nobody wanted to do that song. Dre didn't want to do it. Yella didn't. They were trying to be gangsters. I think we ain't no gangster. How you gonna be a gangster? What are you gonna be? How you gonna be? That's another story. And I was in the Compton swap meet selling some records, and somebody told me something about being I'm a hell of a woman, I'm a hell of a man, blah, blah, blah. And for me, sometimes my writing inspiration will come at the damnedest time. But when it comes, I have to stop what I'm doing and address it. Okay? I got to stop what I'm doing and address it. And I was in the Compton swap meet, and I took out a sleeve of a record and just started writing the lyrics down. And it took me about 30 minutes. I wrote everybody's part in the Compton swap meet, brought it back to the studio. Dre was playing with a beat. We're going to do this record in the studio. And they didn't want to do it. Long story short, I convinced them to do it. And that was our farewell song. And the crazy part about that right there is the original people who did that song, as big as it was, have never performed it anywhere on earth. We broke up right after that. Okay, Michelet never sang it with World Class Wrecking Crew. Dre and Yella never did it with me. I had to go out and grab two other guys. Richie Rich and DJ Battlecat joined the World Class Wrecking Crew, along with Mona Lisa, who sung my first song, Lovers, which made me write Turn Off Lights in the first place, who Turn Off Lights was originally written for. She ended up doing the song with us on tour, and everybody else has done it other than the people who have actually recorded the song.
Yeah. Speaking of Battle Cat, what you got to say about Battle Cat? You know we got to bring up Battle Cat.
Battle Cat's another one. When they start off, they always come to Lonzo. They come to the Godfather and get their blessings. Okay, kiss the ring. Okay. Battle Cat came to me. He was like 17 years old. He might have been 17, and he came to tour with us as a DJ or as a member of World Class Wrecking Crew and a DJ. Okay, so we had just got Turn Off the Lights back in 1987. It was 87. Turn Off the Lights was like the R&B Negro national anthem. And I have a group. I had no group. Everybody was gone. Everybody wanted to be niggas with attitudes. So my manager at the time was Jerry Heller, and I was turning down money. I was kind of depressed, actually. I had a hit record and I was depressed. Wow. How do you have a hit record and be depressed?
I don't know.
Okay, I did, because my house went from being the house party house where everybody was always here to everybody was gone. Overnight, everybody was gone. Everybody was just out of here. Okay, and they all went toward Rufus. My other roommate moved out, and I guess I was suffering from empty nest syndrome. Okay, yeah. I got a record that's in the top 10 on a lot of charts, and my manager is calling me I want to do a show. I don't have a group. And I went into Prince mode like I didn't need no money, okay? And he says, I missed after missing about $50,000 in dates, he said, what you gonna feel sorry for yourself, or are you gonna go broke? And I said, I'm gonna find me a group. And I grabbed me a group. Battle Cat was a part of that group. And he stayed here for a while. His first song called DJ in Effect, he recorded here in my studio. And later he moved on and got his own stuff together. We're still cool to this day. Yeah.
He's real cool. Everybody I've ever talked to about him got nothing but love and respect to say about Battle Cat. And
yes, ma'am.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm coming.
All right, so we're going to take this a little bit on a personal note here. And I don't know if my viewers know, but you endured something pretty traumatic. And I'm going to let you go ahead and share what you went through. At
one time, I was diagnosed with prostate cancer. And they tell you when you get diagnosed with prostate cancer, you go through various stages. You go through the denial, depression, then you finally go through acceptance. And one day I was riding down the street in my depressed state, and I looked over at this bus stop full of guys who wasn't doing a whole lot. And I asked God, God, why is it I got this and not them? I said, I'm a good dude. I take care of people. I look out for folks. I pay my taxes, go to church, pay tithes. What's going on? And I'm sitting in my chair at the pad, and God slapped me upside the back of my head like a bully in the schoolyard. He said, fool, if they had it, would nobody listen? And I said, wow. So from that point on, I became an advocate for prostate cancer. As I started hearing more and more about prostate cancer and learning more and more about prostate cancer, I realized it was the #1 killer of Black men next to bullets.
Wow.
Okay. And I started talking about it, and I embraced it. And once the doctor told me it's going to be all right, he told me this next year is going to seem like a nightmare, but you're going to be all right. One day you're going to look back and laugh at this. Okay. Meanwhile, I pasted it on my Facebook page. I did a few other things, and I just started talking about prostate cancer, and brothers need to go get checked. And one day I'm in a hamburger stand, one of my favorite hamburger stands, kicking it. Brother walked up to me with a deep voice, Lonzo. I said, yeah, how you doing, man? Man, you saved my life. You don't even know it. What I do to you? I ain't pulling nobody out, no burning cars, no burning buildings, nothing like that. What you talking about? You made that post about prostate cancer. I got checked, and I had colon cancer. And it was N.W.A. Like, what? And me and Tyrone talked about that, and we've been friends ever since. But I tell the story a lot. And it's for me, it's why I do what I do, not for people to pat me on my back, but to be of service to somebody else. Because if I didn't tell him to go get checked for prostate cancer, he would have known he had colon cancer. He might not be here today.
Right. So by sharing your story and your journey, it can help and save someone else's life.
Exactly. And I believe in leading by example. That's just my thing. You know, I can't tell nobody to be a good dude if I ain't one. You know, certain things, certain things you got to give up. These two fingers right here, these two fingers, let me tell you my spiel. I grew up in the hood. And if you grew up in the hood, every gang got their sign, okay? They got all their little hand signs, okay? And that means it's about to be on or, whatever.
But
I tell you,
all that.
I tell you what, though. You want to see a room get cleared out real fast, like the police is in there? Pull out these two fingers. These two fingers, this gang sign right here, for prostate cancer, will clear the room like the police in the crap game, okay? So, and I realized brothers are so many brothers, for lack of a better word, are just ignorant to the process. Oh, man, a dude even questioned my sexuality because I had a prostate exam.
Wow.
Man, I got 5 kids. This last thing I'm doing is work. Look, I've been accused of being a lot of things. That ain't one of them, okay? So no, dude, it's not about that. Oh, man, I'll walk the yard of Folsom and anybody ever put nothing in my... Come on, man. Come on, are you serious? And he was. And so when I realized there's a serious phobia, there's a serious level of ignorance when it comes to prostate cancer because of where these two fingers have to go for only a brief moment just to see the size of the prostate. That's where it's right there. It's right there.
Yeah.
So I talk to the brothers, but I talk to the women more who love their men because women go through a whole lot more than what we do. Y'all go through a whole lot more when it comes to for medical examinations. So and most of the time, the women just get your punk ass. Come on, you boy. If you know what I have to go through to keep me stay healthy, them 2 fingers ain't nothing. Come on, okay. And that's how they talk to them. Okay, I've seen it. We got to go through all kind of pros and all. 2 fingers. That's all you got. Get your ass in the car. Let's go.
We'll give you a. I'm just saying.
See. So yeah, so that's one of my things that I do now, baby. I just feel it's my responsibility as an OG in the hip hop game because my guys behind me are all with the prostate cancer range. All the guys behind me in their 50s and late 40s, they're all in prostate cancer range. And if I don't tell, hey man, go get checked now before it's too late, I ain't trying to go to your funeral. I don't want to go to your funeral if I don't have to. So if I can not go to your funeral for prostate cancer, I think I've done my job as an OG.
In fact, you have, and I commend you for being open about it, because for me, it's always about being able to help somebody else and inspire them, and you already did that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, we're going to continue here, and I'm a fan of your nonprofit, Lyrical Revolution. And for my viewing audience, why don't you tell us a little bit more about that?
You know, as a grown man and the Godfather of West Coast hip hop, I'm really kind of tired of hearing lyrics that's constantly degrading our people. All our lyrics are about genocide, homicide, suicide, whatever the case may be. But I think probably what my main motivation is something that I experienced in my personal life that gets me motivated for a lot of stuff. I have a son, he's 19 years old now, but the day he was born, it was on a Friday. The club was closed, supposed to be closed, and my manager had booked a party without me knowing it. He said, "Man, come into the club. The club is packed. I booked a party. I was trying to surprise you." And I wasn't even trying to go to no party. Get to the club. Club was packed full of young cholos, Latino cholos. I never dealt with cholos before. I never had a party for them before. Didn't know how they partied. They seemed to be pretty cool. At the time, my lady called from the hospital to give me an update on my son. Couldn't hear the phone because there was so much noise. So I'll go to the office and pick up the phone in the office. Before I could even say hello good and get a full rundown on my son, my cousin runs to the office. "Hey, man, somebody got shot in the parking lot. Call you back." Hang up the phone. Sure enough, one of the Latino kids that got shot in the parking lot. And I'm sitting there looking at this man's son dying. He was called the ambulance. He died before the ambulance got there. And that morning, I just cut the umbilical cord of my son. And I'm sitting there thinking, who in the hell sees life and death in the same 24-hour period? Doctors, lawyers, but what person? I mean, who does that? And that scared the shit out of me. But the whole experience affected my life so bad because I had to go to court. They sued everybody, and I was the last man standing. And to see the family cry, show pictures of this kid play football and all the things they did, I'd have gave everything I had to bring him back, but I knew that ain't gonna work. But to be on the other side is what scared me the most. To be on the other side, I'm the defendant. To be the I forgot what they called it, the opponent or whatever, huh?
The plaintiff.
The plaintiff, okay, is really, really hard. Because ain't nobody, ain't a dry eye in the house. Everybody crying. The jury crying, judge wiping his eyes. I'm wiping my eyes sometimes too. And not only the fact that it was a sad situation, but everything I had was on the line. Everything I owned was on the line. I didn't have insurance. I just canceled the insurance policy. I was only gonna stay there another 2 more weeks. I ain't never had a problem in all the years I've been doing events. I've never had nothing like this happen. So I figured I got 2 weeks. What the hell? Bad mistake. Anyway, I was found 33% culpable for $1 million. Okay? 33% culpable for $1 million, which means $300,000. Okay? I had to file bankruptcy, all kind of stuff, and the judge still wouldn't give me a full bank discharge. I had to refinance my house and still give these people some money. But it did bring their son back. And that's what I'm saying. I just get tired as a grown man of hearing and seeing all the kids getting shot and killed every other weekend, just shit just going down. It's just, and so I feel that, and I feel as a musician, as a songwriter, a lot of what we experiencing is being programmed through the music. And something, the music, no. Think about this for a second. I'm talking to Pauline right now. Name me a hip hop record that had anything to do with putting in work, smoking a fool, killing, whatever the case may be, that was directed at anybody other than another Black person. You can't find one. But I tell you the same thing. You take the word nigger, I'm smoking a nigger, I'm gonna kill a nigger, and replace it with Jew, gay, LBGT, or puppy. and the record will not make to see the light of day. But as long as we killing each other, it's okay. It's the same thing that Dave Chappelle said the other day. Dave Chappelle said the same thing the other day, and he was absolutely right. The baby killed a man for whatever reason, and it had no effect on his career whatsoever, but he said some derogatory things about the LGBT community, and they sent him to hell, they canceled him. So what you're telling me, a Black death is not as valuable as my opinion, okay? That's what he said. The opinion of how I feel about how the baby felt about certain things going down in parking lots, okay, is more valuable than a Black man's death. And that right there ain't gonna never sit right with me. And if it sits right with anybody else, please unfollow me on Facebook, dislike me on anything else, because I can't roll with that. And that's why I formed the Lyrical Revolution. I know you can't stop all of it. But the sad part about it is, so many people think because people are making money, that justifies them selling out our whole race. There's a word for that. It's called sellout. It's called Uncle Tom. It's called cooning. There's a word for that. But nobody uses those words anymore because they're making money. And I don't understand how I made a comment one time in front of another guy. I said, man, all money ain't good money. Yes, who told you that? Well, I understand the devil passes out a lot of paychecks, okay? The devil got his own way of blessing you in his own way for his own very reason. Usually when the devil gives you something, it comes with ulterior motives, okay? And that's something that we have to learn. We have to teach our kids. Everything ain't good. All this, what you think, all this stuff we think is acceptable. And as long as we as seniors allow it, they're gonna keep on doing it.
This is like what you said earlier about somebody else should do it and then you step up to it. Because honestly, I've talked to a number of people, music artists included, who all feel the same way you do about the music, and particularly the hip hop Black music that's out there. But who's really starting these foundations to bring about some change for it? And so once again, you stepped up to that plate and took it upon yourself. And I commend you for that. Lyrical Revolution, everybody.
Lyrical Revolution, we mentor, inspire, and recognize. We mentor upcoming artists. We recognize artists of the past, and we also inspire artists to do. I can't make you do anything,
right,
but I try to convince you, hey, man, you might want to rethink your position on where you're at. And as a person with a television channel, I ain't got to put it on my TV channel. It ain't just a shit.
Channel. That's right. I forgot to ask you about that. Tell me, please, you guys, listen. Tell me about your TV channel, because I'm on there.
I just launched a TV channel called the Homegrown Media Network on the Roku platform. And I realized that a lot of your platforms, YouTube, Facebook, they're all fine platforms. But as an artist, if you're on YouTube, Spotify, or whatever, you're going to get lost. Now, most of the time, you're going to get lost. You're another artist. 50,000 people upload things to YouTube every hour.
Wow.
Every hour, 50,000 videos are uploaded. So it's a good chance you might not get seen. So I created a channel. I come from the Soul Train, Don Cornelius, American Bandstand, I can't think of anyway, era where artists put on a television show, they perform, and they stuck a microphone in their mouth in their face for a while and let you get a chance to meet the artist. Okay?
Right. And you get
to know the artist.
Creative Artist Magazine. That's
see what I'm saying?
Yes.
So once you get to know the artist, if you like the artist's music, that might be the tipping point that will make you buy it in the record store. Okay? Oh, he was cool. I saw him on American Bandstand. He's cool. He's a Gemini. Or he's cool. He's from Compton. He's cool. She's cool because she's a pop locker. All those variables will make that one decision can waver one way or another whether I'm gonna buy this record or download this record or not. Okay, and I think that's something that people we've lost that. And I think I'm the man to help bring it back.
Yes, you are. Let's do it. And that's the intimacy that we get people known and seen for who they are. And
exactly.
Yes. Perfect.
Your magazine does the same thing. Okay.
Same thing, same premise. That's what we operate on. Slowing it down a bit so you can get to really see just the picture. You get to kind of know the person as well.
Lizzo, right now, Lizzo is going through a lot. She catching hell right now. She's doing a lot. But if people had an interview with her to find out why she does what she does, okay, you might get a better understanding of what she is, okay? Right. As opposed to just from her PR person. Her PR person goes to the spin on it, okay? I want to know what she thinks about that. I'm having fun. I'm just I'm a young big girl. I'm having a ball right now. Yeah, don't get mad at me because eventually, I know I'm not healthy, but I'm just having fun right now because y'all like seeing me do this kind of stuff. If that's her reason, that's her reasoning, okay? But it is what it is.
Right. Because I know people will hate you for your social media persona. They don't know your real life. They don't know the things you're going through. And if they did, they wouldn't hate you. They'd probably try to help you.
Babe, I've had people hate on me. You think you did? No, I don't think you think I'm that. I'm just doing what God gave me the ability to do. Okay.
And I'm going to tell you, people that know you, once they start talking to you, they'll realize you have a tendency to make the world a lot smaller because there's so many connections. There used to be a statement about the 7 degrees of Kevin Bacon. There's 7 degrees of Lonzo Williams. Because I promise you, I can't talk to anybody. It's just like this big connected puzzle, and you're in the middle of it, just bringing us all out.
I as a club owner, I bought a lot of advertising. Then I started making records and promoting records. So I got to know all the record promoters. Then I've always been industry friendly far as going to the BRE convention and Jack the Rapper. Even before I had I was a label owner and an artist. So people like, this dude is crazy. He gonna own the label and be an artist too? Well, guess what? Easy did it, Puffy did it, right behind Lonzo. Lonzo set a new trend for hip hop, because before Lonzo, there wasn't a whole lot of people owning labels and being in the group and running the label too.
Not without Lonzo.
Not without Lonzo, okay?
That's the new hashtag, not without Lonzo. Not without Lonzo. And you know what? I don't want to end this without mentioning something that is near and dear to my heart. And also Silky D Williams, DJ Silky D, will be in my magazine coming up here. And I know she's the West Coast director for the Universal Hip Hop Museum. And I understand that you know those folks over there as well.
Yes, ma'am. Just recently, Rocky gave me and clientele, we're both part of the Universal Hip Hop Museum. And we were both awarded with Lifetime Achievement Awards along with Curtis Blow. Earlier this year, during June, Black Music Month, and I just interviewed Rocky on my show a few months ago. We talking about the Universal Hip Hop Museum, and we're trying our best to figure out a way to bring something like that to the West Coast. My goal, one of my projects, is to do a walk of fame in the city of Compton. There's an area that I think would be great for it. It's right by the train station. I've been talking about this for the past 4 or 5 years. It's just been some logistic issues with keeping us a city manager long enough so I can get it passed through. But other than that, it's been well received. And just like the Universal Hip Hop Museum, Compton needs its own walk of fame to recognize the people of Compton who have done some phenomenal things. And I'm not talking just Serena and Kendrick and Lamar, Serena and Venus. I'm talking about a whole lot of people that I grew up with. Oh, I like, damn, we had people in the Olympics. Yes, you did. Did you have people? Compton High School has the longest running CIF undefeated record in basketball history. Yes, they do. Nobody don't know these things. But I'm a member of the Compton too.
And an NFL football player. So at the same time.
At the same time, we got people NFL, Super Bowl and the championship, basketball championship, same time.
From Compton at the same time. Yeah.
Must be the water.
All right. Well, you know what, Lonzo? I just want to thank you so much for an absolutely whirlwind, incredible interview. It's been an honor and a pleasure to have you here with me today.
Thank you. I've had a ball. I've had a ball.
Creative Artist Magazine. Oh yeah. Creative Artist Magazine. Yeah. Pauline, what's up? Pauline, what's up?